I'm not gonna lie to you, heading into this pay-per-view, I had a sense of boredom. The way things were built up for the pay-per-view, I didn't have much hype behind it. There was no motivation to watch, but it got me once again. For some reason, the pay-per-views that look terrible always deliver. I mean, the main event made me check the date because I thought it was Friday, and even then I thought the match was going to be decent to good, and I was wrong in a good way as to my mindset towards the pay-per-view. So with that said, let's get into it. The first match on the show is between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. A feud that's been nice. After Cody Rhodes' unsurprising, yet very surprising return at WrestleMania, I think everyone was ready for these two to go at it again. Of course, WWE likes rematches, but this one was very nice and, in establishing Cody Rhodes, somewhat necessary. This might be a hot take, I don't know, I'm not sure. But it's not for the sake of it. I personally thought this match, bell to bell, was better than WrestleMania. It was just well done and compact. Every move was super important, and they just have this knack to draw you in. They worked on that chemistry in the live events and whatnot, and they reached their final form. By the looks of it, they're going to be those great rivals that you see instantly get flashbacks to some classic matches. All WrestleMania has is a surprise element in the incredible atmosphere. This one, though, was perfect from the start. Both men showed that they were the hungriest wrestlers on the roster, and they deserve to be at the top, but the problem is there's not that many spots, and I feel it's very unlikely for both to have some proper runs in the coming months. Elsewhere, Seth Rollins is one of the very best. People started acknowledging this recently more, and that's great to see. He was low-key the WWE's workhorse in the beginning of the year. Raw's dragging on, he wrestles the main event and tears the house down, and all around, he's one of the best out there, and in WWE, top 3 all around for the entire year. Cody did extremely well here as expected. He's massively over with the fans, he has that talent to get them invested, and while the finish was odd, I think it made sense. Cody was using Rollins' deceitful tactics against him, and he could afford to lose. I'll get into that in a moment, but he ends up complaining, I assume, and they have the rubber match inside Hell in a Cell, where once again Rhodes wins. The feud itself, in my opinion, is fully about Cody rather than Rollins. It's establishing him as a challenger to Roman Reigns, and the best way to do that is by having him beat Seth 3 times. He can lose. He's lost so many times, yet the moment he faces Roman, many, including myself, thought he was the most credible challenger up to that point. So it doesn't really hurt him if he loses. He's too talented and too far up the card to be hurt by this. But yes, awesome match. I had a thought that maybe the show peaked here, but I'm glad that I was wrong. Because this was a good match, one of my favorites from the entire month regardless of what promotion we're talking about, but the show held its own. The next match on the show is between Omos and Bobby Lashley, the turn that everyone expected when MVP decided to join Omos and go against Bobby Lashley. They're trying to build him up, all that. Lashley's pretty over right now, and while I wish he had another manager, he's obviously better off without a manager than Omos would have been. This match was, as I expected, the big man battle that sees Omos dominate for a large portion of the time, and the pace is slow. That said, it's easily his best match, and he's obviously just there in ring, but it's expected. I mean, the man is taller than the list of problems wrestling had in 2002. There's just a spectacle about seeing the big men fighting, and that's what this match was. Even though he had that height advantage, Omos had to rely on MVP to win, and this was after Lashley had him down. For Omos, it's a good match, but in general, it's just there. On the other side, I hope Lashley eventually meets with a tribal chief, and for Omos, I don't know, but this story looks like it's going to continue. I just don't have any idea what they're going to do with him afterwards. The next match on the show is between Edge and AJ Styles, the Dream Feud. I think the scenario in everyone's mind was flipped, but I'm glad they did it like this. I feel Edge's true nature is that of a heel and AJ's as a babyface. That said, Edge had this casual ministry-esque character that I assume relishes his dark side and feels at home being the evil emperor. At the same time, he's still rated R. Edge constantly insulting the fans and sports teams, which I find funny. As I said before, he doesn't need to change what he wants to. The faction itself gives WWE more story options, and other promotions' faction wars are a huge part of that programming, and because WWE likes rematches, it gives them that option. That said, this match was better paced than WrestleMania's. It was 15 minutes, there was a clear story with AJ's arm being worked on, and it's a decent match, but what everyone remembers is the ending. So Damian Priest randomly came out. He was at ringside despite the stipulation, but then Finn Balor forced him to break the rule by attacking him. Then AJ has the match won with a masked person, and the person was so obvious if you looked at the pants, distracted him, leading to Edge winning by KO. Edge unveils them, and it's Rhea Ripley. She's got dark hair. There's the dark lighting again, and I learned that to join Edge, you have to help him win the match, smile at him, and raise your arms in the air. The match was fine. It's not my favorite of the night, and with the story they're telling, it makes sense that AJ loses. He's proven that Edge is a fraud and is heavily reliant on others to keep him atop this mountain of omnipotence, as he says. Some complained about that, but I see nothing as long as he has an emphatic win eventually. But that we don't know. The story itself is sizzling. I mean, Edge is helping others and elevating them, which is nice, and plus, there's great potential. Barring some very weird things, of course, like Priest randomly smiling like he found a main event push hack or something. Maybe Finn joins them as the demon. I don't know, but one thing that's for sure is that I'm interested in the story. The next match is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defended the title against Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match. If there's a feud that has go-away heat for me, it's this. I just wanted it to be over with. They had a decent match at WrestleMania, but in between, I didn't care about the build. Then the bell rings, and instantly, I knew it was going to be good. The reason why is because of the intensity from both women. They had this hatred for each other, and it helped the match shine. I'm not going to say it didn't have to be this good because deep down, I know they can have a great match. They did it at Survivor Series, and now they did it here. All because of that intensity. You know, the moment where Charlotte said Happy Mother's Day really sticks out to me. Also, Pat McAfee mentioning The Fiend, he kind of got me excited for a moment. But back to the ending. Charlotte insults her, leading to Ronda turning into her 2018 self and bursting out and forcing her to say, I quit, was nice. Then one of you guys reminded me on Twitter that she's going to have more promos now because she's champion, and I was like, oh yeah. Other than that, great match. The I quit stipulation really helped them here. They showed intensity, hatred, violence, all of that. It was nice. As for where they go from here, well, Ronda's challengers compared to Raw aren't that strong. Maybe Bayley returns. I would say they complete the trilogy, but they said that Charlotte suffered a broken arm in storyline, so that's doubtful. Maybe she'll return and win the title again. The next match was between Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. Why is he still called Madcap? I don't know. Add to that, he's still wearing those lower card straps that make him look like he's wrestling on Main Event. If they change his look and his first name back to Riddick, big things are in store. Other than that, this match was forgettable. I wasn't that invested in it. Does that mean it was bad? No, it just didn't go beyond what I was expecting it to. For Corbin, I hope he evolves more as a character. He's out here shopping for shirts from H&M, coming out to some electronic music that sounds like it's from 2014, something straight out of 22 Jump Street, and I kind of like the song. It grew on me, but I feel he's got to do something else at this point. You know, he got rich. It was nice from a storyline perspective, but it's overstayed its welcome. And the main events, the 6-man tag straight from SmackDown. The Bloodline faced Drew McIntyre and RK Bro. When I heard this match was being booked for the show, I was like, why? Why? There's Nakamura and Roman for the title, plus that title unification match was hyped for a while, and it was very questionable. I assume they want to save the big matches for later to length pad Roman's run because, you know, he's going to be the longest reigning champion. It was kind of annoying, but on the other side, it ensures whatever title match he has will be huge. If he's going to face Sami Zayn, it's going to be a big match. If he's going to face freaking Corbin, it's going to be a big match. I still wanted a title match on the show, though. Complaining about this is like yelling at a wall, so let's just talk about the match quickly. The match is very pleasant as time went on. To put it simply, a spa fest, which is occasionally nice. Orton was explosive, and I'll get to him in a moment. Roman won it, which was expected. I mean, he's the champion of the world and the universe. Well, it would have been nice for Drew to pin him straight up. I guess they're saving the moment of Roman losing for a while. Some were annoyed by this because LOL Roman wins. I wasn't really, although it would have been nice to see the Usos or just anybody from the Bloodline lose here. You know, because they almost never lose. Even the Usos, they got some of that Tribal Chief Roman Reigns boost or something. It's a nice match, though. Orton stands out as the man of the match for me. He's really laying it up in the tag team division, which sounds weird if you told anybody around WrestleMania 37 time. His ability to get the crowd behind him is almost second to none, and that intensity and excitement he brings with him truly adds to the matches. That's one of the reasons why I love watching Orton's matches recently. Has he added much to his arsenal? No, but he brings this excitement to him. The crowd's going wild. The RKO that he hit on Roman here was just something special, man. It was a great match. Alright, that's WrestleMania Backlash. This pay-per-view over-delivered. As I said, I wasn't really interested in it much, but they got me. They got me once again. Best match, easily the opener. Rhodes and Rollins has such amazing chemistry with each other. These house shows really helped build that up. And they were showing already at WrestleMania. It's just that little things were awkward in the beginning. So it was nice to see that. I hope their next match, the final match in the trilogy, is their best match so far. Because if it's better than this match, it's definitely going to be one of my favorites of the year. Yes, this pay-per-view was shockingly good. The card wasn't really interesting. The main event felt like it was from SmackDown. But once it actually happened, I didn't really care. I just liked what I was seeing, so that was nice. Alright, what did you guys think of WrestleMania Backlash? Please comment down below, and that's it for this video. Make sure you hit the crossroads on the like button and perhaps the spear on the subscribe button. Peace, I'm out.